Welcome to Ministers Talking a weekly program where Rev Briz and Rev Z and their guests chat about current affairs, world events, spiritual principles, and any old they want to talk about. Based on the New Thought philosophy and ancient wisdoms, Ministers Talking shares a visionary perspective of the evolving spiral called spiritual living. Join us each week as we explore the emerging paradigm of life on planet Earth and beyond.
And good morning, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you over here.
Rev Z right here.
And this is Ministers Talking Shit for the first Friday of March 2026. And, wouldn't you know it, it's going to snow in Denver today, Z, and neither of us are going to be there for
it. I'm okay with that. We need the snow, but I'm okay. I'm not there to deal with it.
Exactly. So Rev Z is doing the work that he does in Florida, and I am off in Nashville, Tennessee, working with the International New Thought Alliance Executive Board. However, I am scheduled to fly back to Denver today, so I'm doing a wing and a prayer. I might be doing a prayer out on the wing that we're able to get in to the airport. And that the airport's still open by the time my plane gets there this afternoon. We'll see how that goes. So, folks, thanks for being with us here this morning. Feel free to chime along, chat along, join the conversation in the comment box as we go along. It's another Friday morning, and we're here to look at some of the weirdness that's going on in the world. The big news. The big news that broke yesterday is Kristi Noem is, she didn't get fired. She got a promotion, they say now. So she's going to be the special envoy to the Shield of the Americas. For those that are thinking, what the heck is that? You're not alone. I had to look it up this morning myself. The Shield of the Americas is a Donald Trump initiative to, get leaders together to protect the Americas in the Western Hemisphere from all the other countries in the Eastern Hemisphere. I don't know, but they got a big conference happening in Miami this weekend, and the Kristi Noem there has been named to leave the Department of Homeland Security and be a special envoy. So, Z, I don't know if you had a chance to watch any of those Senate hearings that with her earlier this week or not. They were rather interesting.
Yeah, I did, and it was quite interesting to watch her song and dance around everything. Not quite sure, she was asked about obviously the affair she was supposed to have had with someone on her staff, and the question was not so much that she was dating the guy. The thing was she was dating a guy who she had sway over, and she got kind of upset, and why are we going down this track and yada yada. But I mean, that's happened a lot. You had the Texas guy. I don't know if he might have been Democrat. I don't know who had to retire because he had an affair with a woman, and she wound up, unfortunately, commit suicide in a tragic way. Set herself on fire. I mean, it's like, wow. So I don't know, man. It's quite alarming to think about some of this stuff that we got going on, but she was never that effective to me in her position, and how she got to get a promotion to do something special, I don't know.
We could speculate a lot on what that's got to do with it, but it's I didn't have as I've said, I've been in meetings all week, so I didn't have an awful lot of chance to pay attention to the news. But the clips I did see, I don't get it when people show up to a Senate inquiry and are immediately combative and dismissive and try to dance around the questions and all the antics that she pulled. I thought she looked horrible in all of this. Now, Donald Trump, I guess, has made a statement through Truth Social that this really had nothing to do, her firing, being let go from Department of Homeland Security really had nothing to do with that Senate inquiry. It was all around the $220 million ad campaign that she oversaw that did it, that she spent too much money on an ad campaign that was ineffective. I don't know. I'm very happy to see her go. Word has it that her replacement, and I forgot his name, Mark Wayne Mullen, who is the whitest looking Native American I've ever seen. I look at pictures of this guy and I think, they're promoting that he's a Native American and the first Native American citizen senator in over 20 years or something. And this is the whitest looking Native American I've ever seen in my life. So I kind of want to, enough of the birth certificates. Let's call for some DNA testing on these folks. I want to see some DNA that proves you're part of this Indian tribe that you claim to be a part of. And but he does, it's interesting. The guy seems to be rather wishy-washy. He called January 6th an insurrection, but he seems to be really in line with Donald Trump and a hardliner when it comes to immigration and deportation. So we're going to have to see what happens at the Department of Homeland Security in the coming months.
Yeah, it's going to be, and Christie spent all that money on an ad campaign. Why are they running ad campaigns in the first place, right? You're supposed to be, as the title says, looking at immigration and deportation or whatever, that whole thing. Homeland Security, they do more. Homeland Security also does some stuff with FEMA, I think, and stuff like that. But why do you need a $200 and some odd million campaign to go do your job? Just take that money and go do your job. So, and now she's special envoy. I want to see what that campaign looks like. I mean, if we're going to go down that track, but when we think about it, the big elephant in the room, of course, is the war in Iran.
Yes.
And so that, I mean, that is in my mind, a complete nightmare. A complete nightmare. Then they're never going to get out of that efficiently, for lack of a better word. It's going to be lives lost, infrastructure in a city where people, they claim they're in to liberate, are going to be totally upended. And so now you're going to be in a situation where, how do you manage this? We see it in Iraq, it didn't work. We see it in Libya, it didn't work. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think I think they said they were spending almost in the first 4 days, they spent $1 billion a day.
Yeah.
And then now we have Americans stuck all over the Middle East who can't get home.
And Marco Rubio has basically told all of those Americans, yeah, you're on your own. Good luck. Hope you can find a way home. While photos have emerged of a bunch of Trump supporters on a private plane, supposedly funded by the State Department, flying home the influencers on a private plane. But the close to 1,000 regular folk, American citizens, are being told, good luck, hope you can find a flight. Airspace over Iran obviously is closed. Anything in and out of the Middle East is really suspect. And Overnight, Israel reports this morning are that Israel bombed Beirut in Lebanon and killed over 100 people in Beirut in overnight bombing. That it's I saw a meme that said something to the effect, that Netanyahu has tried to convince every president in the last 40 years to attack Iran, and he finally found one stupid enough to do it. Gas prices are rising across the country already because oil production has, well, not even the production, just exports. Oil exports out of the region have slowed to a crawl or almost completely stopped. The Straits of Hormuz are just about closed at this point. Nobody wants to move in the region. And I saw a report that countries like UEA and Qatar and others are going to pull their financial investments in the United States because of all this, because they're losing money. When Dubai is getting hit with rockets and people feel it's not safe to travel to Dubai, and all of this is, it feels like saber rattling, more than saber rattling. Like this guy's just swinging his dick in the wind and pissing on anybody he can, because there were reports that came out last Friday that stated very clearly Iran was excited to negotiate, was ready to negotiate. Other reports that came out last Friday that they were nowhere near nuclear weapons. And Trump said, yeah, no, let's bomb them anyway. It keeps feeling like we are living in the upside down, and every single good news in the world is immediately met with Trump saying, no, I'm going to do the exact opposite. And there was no reason to bomb this country, no reason to, a whole school full of young girls just gone. And for what? To hide his involvement in the Epstein files? To hide his involvement with
Well,
Epstein and with child trafficking, sex trafficking, and I it's almost
well,
impossible to comprehend.
I think part of the challenge is here, or I won't say challenge, part of the obvious things is that there is no strategy in the office of the highest commander in chief in this country. How do you, I mean, it should have been perfectly clear to everyone that when you send two aircraft carriers halfway around the world, each one of those aircraft carriers ensembles or armadas has about 7,500 people supporting it at least. So you got two of those. So now that means you got 15,000 people with, uh, destroyers that go along with that carrier. You got all the planes, like they probably got at least 35 to 50 aircraft on each one of those aircraft carriers. And to think that they was going to send that over and not do something was like, okay, I should have went on that site where you can put money on things happening. I would have won, because that was inevitable. You're not going to send that over there and not do that. The other thing is that, how do you begin to build trust in your allies when you say you're at a peace table, you're talking, and then you bomb during Ramadan, by the way, the holiest month in the Islamic year. Um,
Yep.
and they've been talking with Russia and the whole thing over there that they're involved in. And now it turns out Russia is providing, or at least it's reported that Russia is providing logistical information to Iran on whatever the heck they're doing. So here again, our leader is, to me, it's just, it's ludicrous, and it's guys with all the money and all the toys playing games with people's lives, and it should be eradicated. And I hope they do. We got peace steps and get this thing done and over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I've never been quite a fan of, but she's been railing against Donald Trump. And we need to remember his promise was no new wars. No new wars. He said it multiple times. We got it on tape, and he has initiated 9 major military operations since he took office. So another blatant, in-your-face lie by this man. No new wars. And he's been drawing up war plans, it seems, since day one, just waiting for the right time to do it. And again, it's not really none of this is making the Epstein files go away. We have new reporting out yesterday by Politico that is pretty damning towards Donald Trump. Turns out the FBI has released documentation that a trio of FBI interviews with a woman who alleged Donald Trump sexually assaulted her when she was a young teenager after she was introduced to him by Epstein. According to FBI summaries of her interviews with investigators, and this is known as Witness 302S, is Trump hit her after she bit his penis while he was attempting to force her to perform oral sex. These 3 files come out as Democrats are investigating whether the department purposefully withheld materials. Trump has obviously denied any wrongdoing in the allegations, and his talking head, Carolyn Levitt, says he's been completely exonerated. However, the reports outline a young woman who was taken to what we believe is Trump Tower, and the reports I'm reading look fairly accurate. I don't have a problem believing any of it, to be honest with you, knowing what we know about the man. So he's trying to paper over anything he can over top of the Epstein files, including taking us into what could be a 20-year war. I would love to see Congress grow a spine and actually
it could be a world war. Yeah, well, this could be a world war, because what's going to happen is people are going to start taking sides, right? When you look at all the world wars, this is what happened. Somebody got into a match, and people started taking sides because of economic favors, because of relying on resources, whatever the case may be. And then it took one thing that seemed kind of insignificant to start the whole thing, because everybody was too entrenched. I mean, we're already looking at issues with tariffs. They're still around, although the employment numbers are pretty steady. Gas is going up, and it's going to continue to go up. The market has dropped almost 3,000 points in these few days. And so it's going to be interesting when all these resources, like the president said, he's going to provide military escorts for oil or commerce through the Straits of Hormuz. Well, that's just going to open up more places for American casualties and for you to increase the war. And God forbid we have to send boots on the ground, because I don't see how you take a country of 92 million. The mere fact that they said they killed the Ayatollah, but they also killed all of the people, a bunch of the people they were looking forward to taking his place, is just like, where is your strategic anything? How do you kill the people the person that's supposed to be bad and all the people you want to take his place. And now you're looking for some new leaders. Insane.
Yep. And oh, oh, excuse me there. And now Trump is saying that he wants to be personally involved with picking the next leader of Iran. Like, what? Sorry, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. You don't get to bomb the hell out of somebody and then step in and say, "Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna put Pete Hegseth in there as the royal leader of Iran, as the supreme leader of Iran." Uh, it gets funnier and it gets hilarious to me. The gall that this man has to believe that he is the supreme leader of the planet. And um folks, we say it every week, it seems, but the numbers going across the bottom of your screen there. Call your senators, call your representatives, leave them a message. I uh i uh i left um I left Lauren Boebert a message the other day, and uh, when you know it, she showed up in the news. The Senate, or the Representatives, Congress voted overwhelmingly to protect the legislator slush fund for allegations of sexual assault or sexual abuse. Now, interestingly enough, Lauren Boebert was like one of the very few people to vote against this bill, which, okay, makes her look good, but doesn't make her look good enough after what she did to Hillary Clinton. And we didn't talk about this in the pre-show, but Lauren Boebert's treatment of Hillary Clinton was absolutely ridiculous. She leaked photos of the deposition prior to it starting. They have her on camera saying, "Oh, that was before we started. I'll take it down. I'll take it down." And Hillary was quite upset with Lauren Boebert. And then she proceeds to start asking nonsensical questions of Hillary about Pizzagate and this crazy conspiracy, which has been completely debunked at this point. Plus, now we know it was actually the Republicans that were trafficking in children more than Hillary ever could have been. And we called forth Hillary Clinton to testify in regards to the Epstein files, and her name's not in there. She's not connected in any way. We got pictures of Melania and Epstein together with Trump. Let's get them in front of a deposition. Let's get Melania. She'll pretend she can't speak English if you do, but let's subpoena her and see what she sounds like in a deposition. I want to know what did Melania know? There's our next hashtag. What did Melania know?
The thing here also is that this house of cards is gonna get less sturdier and less sturdier, right? You look at Congress, you got 53 congressmen that are resigning, retiring, stepping out, or whatever, uh, and over half of that number are Republicans. So this midterm election should be interesting. We had the ones down in Texas the other day, and Jasmine Crockett did not pass through for the Democratic piece, and I'm sure Trump is happy about that. So I haven't followed it that much. I just saw the results of that, and then they had the one guy who was in the runoffs, but then he had to retire, had to recuse himself or retire because of allegations of a an affair with someone who who eventually committed suicide, and they're saying that it was related to that. And so, I mean, when you look at, as you were saying, all these allegations that the Republican Party was pushing on Democrats and all these things about eating, I mean, just ludicrous stuff. Now, it's all pointing back to them now, though. So they took a script and flipped it on somebody else that appears to be part of their playing cards. And now I want to see how they get out of it. And I'm waiting to see Pam Bondi. She's been subpoenaed to testify next week, I think it is. I can't wait to see that, see how combative she was combative before. I can't wait to see how combative she is now when they put her on the spot. It's going to be interesting TV.
Yes, it is. Drama in the government. There's our news segment. I want to see him put Carolyn Levitt on the stand. I mean, she's got a hand up her ass, just flapping her gums for her. Every anything they tell her to say, she says it like she means it, and she believes it. And I'd like to see her under testimony without scripts, and being questioned by senators on what she really knows as well. It's the whole thing is, if it wasn't so detrimental to the future of American democracy, it would make a great comedy. But the truth is, it's real. And what we can do, folks, is call our representatives, call our senators, pick up the phone and dial that number that's going across the bottom of your screen there, and speak to the senator or the representative in your state, in your district, and tell them and let them know, and call every day. It takes a couple of minutes every day. You might get a staffer. That's okay. Be respectful. Don't swear at them. You might get their answering machine and lay out your disgust. Let them know how passionate you are about this, because I have to believe in a lot of ways the public uproar is what gets Kristi Noem out of the seat at the DHS. And if we can continue to apply the pressure to this administration and say, not in our name, not this is not the America we want to live in, this is not the America we voted for, we can enact change. But it starts by making those phone calls. It starts by speaking up. And you mentioned Texas. The race there was for Senate. And now Jasmine Crockett's already a representative, so she's not going to lose her seat in the House of Representatives. She was just trying to up her ante and get into the Senate. So with her staying in the seat as the representative, and James Tallarico, who has made a splash recently, now the nominee for Senate, there's belief there, and real belief, that the Democrats could turn Texas blue again. And if Texas is voting blue, Donald Trump's got to be quaking in his pants, I was going to say, but that's a bad pun. He's got to be getting nervous that people are not only starting to see through his bullshit, but are ready to revoke him and rebuke him and take him out of office, and take away his support. If we can get rid of Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House, if we can flip the Senate or flip the House and take away his ability to actually pass any legislation, then everything he does becomes illegal. I think we have a case against Donald Trump when it comes to war crimes, because of what's happened in Iran this past week, and what it's emboldened Israel to do as well. So let's not lose sight that this man can be held accountable in a world court, and it might take a while, but we can be the pressure that helps to push some people over the edge, as it were, and get some people to stand up and grow a spine.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how people really evaluate this thing called life, right? Because right now it is, with these wars and these tariffs and these gas prices and all the, you're going to begin to see more and more that everything is connected, and that you cannot just indiscriminately do things, or do things without instruction. He had these ships over there. He knew people in the embassies and in all these places. And Iran told them, if you come in here attacking, we're going to attack everything in the region. They said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for you to think they didn't, and to think that they're going to, now to think, well, they're going to run out of stuff. They've been stockpiling stuff since 1979. So we're almost 50 years. 78, 79. So they got stuff, I would imagine, all over that country in different bunkers. And I don't care how sophisticated the satellites are, you're not going to find all of it. And it's going to be prolonged. I mean, and pretty soon we're going to run out of bombs. I mean, these bombs are a lot of money. I mean, and unfortunately, we've lost 6 lives. When we start losing more lives and the stake go up, because we can't. I mean, it's everything is going to increase, and then that's going to ruffle the feathers of a lot of people, a lot of families.
Yeah.
And you know, why couldn't we have given peace a try? Is my question.
Great question. Great question. I I, I have to believe it's because peace doesn't try to divert people's attention from the Epstein files, but that might just be my opinion there. So uh, let's give peace a try. It's past time. It definitely is. And
Yep.
for me, um, we vilify people based on old, outdated information. And I don't see any, and I can't see, and I haven't been able to find anything that says Iran or the Iranian people or the Iranian government were any threat to us or to Israel in the region. And they do have a stockpile, and they have said we're going to use it now, and they have been, and I think they have every right to defend their homeland, just as we would claim we need to defend our homeland. We scream about illegal immigration, and then we try to illegally take over a country. Um, I think I trust the American people are waking up, and I trust that our democracy is not so damaged that we can't use the levers of democracy to eliminate this man from power, to take him out of power, and to begin what's going to be a long, long road of rebuilding trust. And that's the word you used, Z. And I think that's going to be the buzzword for the next 20, 30 years is how do we rebuild trust with our neighbors, with our allies, and with those that we've made adversaries that yet weren't. And so, back to my wing and a prayer today, praying China stays on the sidelines, praying that Russia doesn't get involved, praying that the United Arab Emirates and other Arab countries decide to de-escalate rather than escalate this, and we can expose Trump and Netanyahu for the wannabe dictators that they really are.
One of the challenges is by by the current administration taking this bold step, if you will, to enact war, we have any number, Russia's going to continue to justify what they're doing in Ukraine. They're going to say, well, Trump did it, we can do it, even though we did it first. If China starts looking to invade Taiwan, which they already are, we know they're doing exercises, they're going to say, well, Trump did it, we can do it too. So Pandora's box, if you will, has been opened, and it's unfortunate um, that now we're stuck in the middle of something here that I'm not sure how we get out. And when we look at this week marked with all kind of conflicts, right? We got legal battles going on. We got they had to roll something near dear to my heart. They had to roll the rocket back off the pad down in Florida here to because they found a problem with the rocket. And you know we as spiritual practitioners, we have to, this is an invitation for us to hold steady with the idea of peace and oneness, and to stay awake. Although that, to be awake, it's gotten a bad word, but it looks like these people who aren't awake are driving the car, and they're asleep at the wheel. They're not awake at the wheel. They're asleep, and they're doing all kind of crazy, and they're starting wars and creating havoc for the American people. And they need to wake up, right? And they need to choose an alignment that says this is one world, this is one people, regardless of all the differences that we come in, or else it might get destroyed, or
Yeah.
definitely get destroyed as we know it for sure. So I mean, it's, let's stay that course. Let's stay the course of peace, and let's stay the course of understanding and negotiation and discernment and all those things that we need, that appear to have left common sense altogether at this point.
Yep. Don't go back to sleep, folks. Don't let yourself get consumed by the sleepwalkers. Stay awake, and keep doing the prayer, and keep moving your feet. Uh, Number one tenet I was taught in all this: treat and move your feet. Say your prayers and do your work. And right now, the most effective work I still believe we can do, short of getting out in the streets. There is another No Kings rally coming up in a few weeks. Get prepared on the 28th of this month. Get your signs together. Get your walking shoes together. It's going to be a beautiful spring day to get out and and protest the regime. But beyond getting in the street, call your senators, call your representatives, make it a daily habit, make it a call morning, noon, and night. Let them get sick and tired of hearing your voice on their answering machine till they start paying attention and start actually doing something. And if you happen to have a liberal perspective and live in a red state, then call 5 times a day. Make it a prayer practice. Morning, noon, evening, night. Call in the middle of the night and leave a message. It doesn't matter when. Let's fill the phone lines and tell our senators and representatives a vision of what we want to see. A world where borders are irrelevant, where people are represented, where we know there is enough food and water for everybody, where we do not start more foreign wars, where we get our people out of harm's way and take care of our people. Send some military transports over there and pick those people up. Don't leave them laying around in the Middle East wondering what's going to happen to them. Get our people home. Do the good work that governments are supposed to do, um, rather than regime change and nation building.
Well, and I tell you what, and I know our time is getting short here, so I want to make sure I get this in. This weekend, we have that annual moment of moving time forward. Uh, so let's take that idea and move all of this stuff forward beyond the craziness, beyond the conflict, and beyond the separation and all of that. Let's move forward into a place of understanding and respecting humankind and this planet and life itself, so that we could spring forward, as they say, and wake up to a beautiful, blossoming world that works for all.
Amen. I see what you did there. Very nice. Very nicely done, my friend. So on behalf of ministers everywhere, don't be late to church on Sunday. Folks, that is about all we've got time for today. This is New Thought Media Network and Ministers Talking Shit. Elzia and I will be back next Friday with more of this kind of programming. If you like what we're doing here, please head on over to the website, ntmedia.org. Drop a donation in the donation box. Help us keep this program and all of our programming on the air through your financial contributions as well. So we're going to get out of here for now. Until next time, we wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.
And thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ministers Talking. We'll be back again next week with more commentary on current affairs, world events, and any other our ministers want to talk about. And if you found value here, please share our with your friends. Until next time, peace and blessings.